Hi everyone, my name is Christine Pacewicz from Saginaw Valley State University. Thank you for attending my virtual presentation focused on teammate communication and athlete motivational sport experiences. Teammates frequently communicate with each other, and this communication has been shown to convey messages pertaining to acceptance, distinctiveness, positive and negative conflict, support, and self-disclosure. These messages can contribute to effective or ineffective communication, which have been linked with team cohesion, athlete satisfaction, and role clarity. These messages may also link with athletes' motivational experiences of burnout and engagement. However, as various forms of communication between teammates occur at the same time, attending to multiple types of communication at once will better approximate the sport environment of athletes. Thus, the purpose of the current study was to describe communication profiles of athletes and assess profile group differences on athletes' perceptions of burnout, engagement, satisfaction, and enjoyment. Participants included a convenient sample of female and male collegiate track and field athletes. The average age was roughly 20 years old, and athletes represented 13 teams from Divisions 1, 2, and 3 of the NCAA, 5 teams from the NAIA, and 1 team from the NJCAA. The majority of participants self-identified as white. Participants completed established measures of communication, burnout, engagement, athlete satisfaction, and enjoyment once during the latter half of the outdoor track season. All scores had acceptable internal reliability, except for the distinctiveness dimension of communication. This communication process was not used in the analyses. To describe profiles of communication, we use latent profile analysis and NASPSPA. Profiles classified athletes by their scores on communication variables. We used model fit indices and practicality to determine the best fitting model. A 3-class solution fit best and was retained. The first class was characterized by less exchanges of anger and agitation, suggesting effective communication with teammates, and also multiple communication processes of support. This class was then labeled as the supportive communicators. The second class fell in the middle with respect to effective communication processes and had the lowest levels of co-rumination among the 3 classes. Co-rumination, or the excessive problem talk with another individual, is linked with maladaptive outcomes, including loneliness and depression. As such, lower levels may be more adaptive for healthy functioning. This class was then labeled as the functional communicators. The third class was characterized by less effective communication with teammates, as adaptive communication processes were lower and maladaptive communication processes were higher among athletes in this class. This class was then labeled as the less effective communicators. We then assessed differences between women and men, and we found men had a higher probability of membership in the functional communicators profile than in the supportive and the less effective communicators. We then used the 3-step method in NASPSPA, utilizing a walled chi-square test to assess profile group differences on athletes' perceptions of burnout, engagement, satisfaction, and enjoyment. The supportive and functional communicators did not differ on burnout perceptions. However, the less effective communicators had greater perceptions of burnout than the supportive communicators and functional communicators. The supportive and functional communicators did not differ on engagement perceptions. However, the less effective communicators had lower perceptions of engagement than the supportive communicators and the functional communicators. We then found that the functional communicators had lower levels of satisfaction than the supportive communicators, and the less effective communicators had lower satisfaction than the functional communicators and the supportive communicators. And finally, we found that the functional communicators had lower levels of enjoyment than the supportive communicators, and the less effective communicators had lower enjoyment levels than the functional communicators and the supportive communicators. Overall, we found that 3 profiles were characterized by varying levels of communication processes were observed in the present study. Together, exchanges of appreciation, consideration, emotional support, and open communication about problems may lower vulnerability to athlete burnout and enhance athlete engagement, satisfaction, and enjoyment. Such findings support previous work highlighting qualities of effective and ineffective communication in sport. Future work should examine how communication profiles might evolve and shape changes in athletes' motivational experiences across the season. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I can be reached at cpacewic@svsu.edu if you have any questions about this current study. Thank you.